Right, I've got one last take if we want to do one last one, boys. So let's see where you go on this one, because I'm going to do a spicy one with a historical component. Right? If you think about the way this world's played out, I've been thinking about this. I went back and watched a few games. Even though BLG lost Worlds, they didn't win the tournament, guys. I actually think, for real, that this performance from Bin is like a top 2 Worlds performance ever. I'm going to say number 1 is The Shy, because I actually do think, if you ever watch Season 8, The Shy, like, I always say to, like, Wonder or not, like, no one could have beaten him, bro. Like, you can have people coming out of time machines playing him, they'd all lose. Like, his hands were just at, like, a level that, like, his hands, and especially his balls, were just, like, inconceivable. Like, this guy, he had probably the biggest ego player ever, The Shy Season 8. But aside from that, if you think about how Bin actually played in this tournament, what did he do wrong? Am I missing something? Like, I'll give you a list of everything he had. So first of all, he had unbelievable mechanics. Like, he looked better than every... by the way, I think Zeus is mega, but Bin's even better than him. Then you consider his picks. Bro, I don't care what anyone says. In these drafts, people were talking like Jax is unbeatable. No, only Bin's Jax is unbeatable. Everyone else is like good, but they have that like Jax is supposed to be. They have moments in the game where they're strong. They have moments where there's the valley. They have moments where if you catch them early and they're not fed, they're not going to do it. This guy was a nightmare the whole game if you ever had the Jax. By the way, it wasn't just the Jax. He could fuck around on anything. He could go on to the Gnar, whatever he wants to pick, but just play everything. Then you consider, he by the way, is one of the only players who did force the Jax. He would just force it every time it's available almost. Like, and by the way, you can see why. And then I'll add this in as well. Holy shit, this guy has to be in the same category as the Shy. The swagger isn't just the shit for the cameras, guys. I can tell this guy actually believes it. Like, you know, everyone can do that UFC thing where it's like, hey, you know, I'd knock him out, bro. Like, you know, no, he plays like he believes that. Like, in these games, I even feel for it. This is why I'm saying him, not Knight, by the way, Kira. Because here's the difference. There were the odd moments where I saw Knight not go into a team fight because he worried he would die. I don't think Bin has ever pressed the brakes in his life in this tournament, bro. Every time, this guy played like the ego fucking Jax top laner in your solo queue game. He just went in every time. And if you don't follow him up, by the way, and he gets killed, that's your fault, not his. This guy was so swagged out. And then lastly, along those lines, bear in mind he lost, so sadly people won't give you credit for this. The way he played in Game 5, this guy has the biggest heart in the fucking world, bro. Like, he actually played for real, Game 5, like it was a throwaway solo queue game, and it doesn't matter if we win or lose this fight. He was going for it, bro. He was going really hard for this one. So I think, aside from the Shy who did win Worlds, I don't care who, take any of the players who won, Marin, Duke, fucking QV, go down the list, bro. Fucking Flandre, none of these. I think Bin played better than all these fucking guys. He didn't even win the tournament. That's a real take. Thoughts?
I would say oh, sorry. You want to go first?
No, you go, Zaba.
Okay. I think my all-time favorite performance of a top laner at Worlds ever is actually from Bin, but it's not this year. I think that at the age of 17, doing a pentakill in Worlds Finals with Fiora against Prime Damwon is almost a bingo of the achievement you can do, right? It's like if you do a bingo, it's like, oh, who do you win? Prime Damwon, okay, and then pentakill, okay. Which age? It's 17, top laner. So, and Fiora. So I think that's the when people ask me in the French media, it's like I think this is the single best individual performance ever at Worlds. I mean, I don't see any other. So I would say that's still, like, for me the best performance from Bin, but he's overall because it's a one game, but overall on the span of a tournament, I think he's been the best player at the tournament with in terms of solo lanes. There is
really?
Maybe, yeah, I actually think so.
I don't even think it's close. That's how much I'm on Knight, by the way. Whoa, like
I think Knight played amazing. I think Bin and Knight played buff amazing, but I would say, aside from the Jax versus Gragas Game 5, where really, like, Zeus, he was very prepared for this matchup, and I think it was very hard because Bin took it still, knowing it, right?
Oh,
and
yeah,
I think that's
absolutely.
You need to give the props to him.
Yep.
Because he knows, like, he's gonna get counterpicked by Gragas. And if you look at the Q predicts from Zeus on Jax, on side lanes, it's insane. Like, this is the only time in the tournament where I really seen Bin kind of in distress in side lanes, like not being able to produce any game with Jax. Aside from that, I think that his ability to, like, impact team fights with Jax. You see all these guys, they take Jax, they go on side lane, they get 2 item, they jump into a team fight, they press E and they die.
Yep.
That's the average.
Oh, the amount of time he
world.
survives in these fights is crazy, bro. Like he's just drawing people's
does.
attention for like 5 whole seconds. Yeah, it's crazy. And by the way, I also agree that's actually an underrated point you make. Most players who are like an ego carry top player like this, bro, they would just do what my boy Froggen did and just get the counter pick every game. They'd be like, give me the counter pick, I'll win all the... This guy would just lock it and just fucking play against whatever. He was a gangster.
So here's the thing, okay? Like, in terms of just like a pure like carry threat, he is only like comparable to the Shy in my opinion, okay? But the two performances that I think are like just as like good, and I've not like went back and rewatched them that recently, particularly this one. Naguri's one where he wins with Damwon.
2020.
The stage is shit because there's no fucking crowd, so like.
Sure.
It's whatever, but like the utility, like who was playing fucking Lulu top at that like tournament? Like I know it's not like carry, but like the utility and the stuff that he was able to provide to his team, and he was also a sick carry player as well. And then I actually think at 2016 Worlds, it's not like that is approaching like peak unbelievable faker. He is outstanding at that tournament, but to beat Rock's Tiger, there's basically no player that they could have had because he was literally the only person who could play against Smeb. Like
you mean Duke? You haven't said the name,
Duke,
but yeah, Duke.
Yeah, it's Duke. Like Duke is essential to that team because he like fundamentally like broke like it is bullshit. Like that champion at the time, what's it called? The Echo Top. Echo Top was nonsense. Okay. Like it was absolute fundamental nonsense. But he was just he was the best abuser of the biggest pile of shit.
People don't know, Kira's talking about the era when they somehow managed to make Echo so you could just like build tank, but it still did damage and you could just get out. And it was actually the most nightmare fuel solo queue champion I think ever made. It was insane, wasn't it? It's so bad.
Like imagine you're just about to kill the tank,
yes, exactly.
And then he reverses time, and he's like, "I'm back!" And he mass stuns your team as well. Yeah. Like,
that was horrible.
There was so many just like Echo moments where you were just like, how is that even like possible? But I'll digress just to focus on like Ben here. I think Ben was unbelievable at this tournament. He was like, I don't want to detract from him. The only thing, and because me and Nymera and Rich all came back to each other, like when we went to like talk. Has like Jack's team fighting like late game in some of the games was like really, really strange where you would like was like mispositioning or like mistiming and like getting him skilled, and he's usually like killer on it. And you've seen it in game 5 where he catches Guma and he does the sidestep on the Poppy to then kill. That is unbelievable. Yep. And that was like a throwback. But for the whole tournament, he had some like really.
Oh, by the way, that's even one thing that is so sick if you're Bin. It's like, bro, that moment when he like dodges the Poppy, it's like that's supposed to be his faker moment where he like wins worlds off that, and we're all like, whoa, the greatest players, and that would be like in the next Riot music video. But everyone is going to forget that moment because he lost that game. For real, it's going to be like some fucking Blade Runner, like lost like Tears in Rain or whatever. Like, he's just going to forget that moment. That was fucking unbelievable, that play, mate. It was bonkers, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is where I more fundamentally agree with the point that like there is very few carry top lane performances like this, because everyone forgets, by the way, about this, right? The amount of people that like the quality of like people that like Ben played at this tournament was actually really, really high, and actually in all the individual games it was unbelievable. Whereas when the Shy won Worlds, like his like quality of opponent wasn't as good outside Smeb, and it was not peak like Kino Smeb. And the other thing is he was also getting like subbed in and out of the fucking top lane in like certain like situations because he was just doing like fucked up things in draft, and he still had a couple of the Shy moments. But yeah, this is like a hallmark like great performance from BLG. But that's the thing, Thorin. That's what made me predict like against them, because League of Legends hasn't been the best players for years now. Even though BLG are the best team, are the best have the best players. Yeah. It's like they're not the best like team, unfortunately. But he was fucking unbelievable at this tournament. The only thing that I could say about like Ben that was really, really strange was his like Gnar game in game 4 was like not bad, like comically bad, but it was quiet. Like he never actually came to a team fight with Gnar Barrel.
True.
The only time he ever got a Gnar ult off was at top lane where T1 turret dived him. And I've like, because we don't get POVs, like you can never answer this question. You just don't know why it's happening. Like, I wonder why, what was going on that he couldn't get his Gnar, because his Gnar's has like other like god tier, can't lose the game like pick. And so it was very, very strange to see that kind of like flutter into like the night. Very strange.
By the way, I'll also throw this in there as well. I am almost certain that, like, this guy is the only guy who could play the Jax like that. Because here's the things, Aberdeen. If other people could do that in scrims, it would have been banned. That tells me players are just thinking like, but I've played so many Jaxes, like, we'll figure out a way. We'll take the counter pick, or we'll take a different jungle pick. Like, I actually think for real, coaches almost just let this guy play, and fuck, he almost stole worlds from him, bro. He almost actually won this motherfucker.
Yeah,
that's. I feel like especially the champion Jax is a very misunderstood champion by most of the competitive industry. I think he's considered like a kind of a hyper scaling monster that wins team fight late game and stuff like this, like super good bruisers. But he has very like precise spikes on which he's like a monster, but he has a lot of like holes as well during in his curves. And I think Bin is the only player that like has been able as well, probably in the training, to communicate around these spikes and these moments. Because you see BLG, like they will play a Drake, and then you see Bin on the side lane farming because he's been, behind from a swap lane. And then BLG is just gonna play like push and pull and kind of just delay the enemy team around Drake, but Bin's never like joining. You see all these top laners just like press TP immediately, watch the Drake being taken, do nothing, lose 2 waves on side. Like he's finding these ways like, guys, we're not playing this Drake, I'm going back for the next one, and he gets his item, starts to put pressure because he has his spike on the enemy top laner, then like BLG goes to Baron, and then he makes this TP play, flanks the ADC, wins the game of that. Like, it's not only, and I think that's like the misunderstanding, is like people think Bin is just a monster in terms of like hands, but I think he's one of the very few...
Smart. Oh, he's unbelievably intelligent.
He has the legacy, right? Even maybe more than the Shy, is like his understanding of like top lane timings and top lane impacts as a carry is unmatched in the history of League.
He times, what do you call it, night summoner spells for him, by the way. Just so a little point, if you don't know this, by the way, guys. Ben does the, I'm not joking, I've watched the POVs. The 2 people that time summoner spells in BLG are On, who does it for bot side, and Ben, who does it for top side, because Knight refuses to do it. It's 2 above him.
Obviously, the joke there for On is he just does that because his flash is on cooldown permanently, so he just got into the habit of like, oh, when's it coming back? I just wasted it.
And you have a lot of time when you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. While he's got the grey screen, he just checks the timer, exactly. The joke tricked himself for that one.
And if you've ever watched like a Ben POV, it's literally like a faker like POV.
Oh, he's watching the rest of the map, right?
Yeah, but what he's actually doing is he's constantly moving his screen, looking for a TP animation. Because if you look at you can't see it on your minimap, but if you actually physically move your camera, you can actually see the TP onto wards, even if it's
right.
And so he's constantly looking to see if people are TP flanking him when he's in side lanes. Like, this guy's POVs are actually transcendently, like, you could learn so much from this guy. It's like Doinbeat-esque.
Oh, by the way, you do know as well the reason why. It's not just that he plays champions like Jax, but I think half the reason why people make it sound like he's a hands-on guy is because his whole demeanour makes him seem like he's the tough guy, doesn't he? So I think people don't give him credit as actually being smart. Because I know what you mean. His feel for the game's unbelievable, mate.
Yep, unbelievable. Like, he's genuinely like China was basically lucky. Like, he has like just a transcendent like talent. Like, there are very few players ever born like Ben, and they're just lucky to have him. I can't wait because he's still relatively young in his career.
Sure.
Like, and it's gonna be sick to watch him.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.